I'm Doug Massey, and today I'm going to share with you three really important final expense carriers that I would say if you're an independent agent, you absolutely have to have. As a matter of fact, between these three carriers, you probably don't even need to use others. I mean, you could get away with it. Let's put it that way. You add it to a guaranteed issue carrier too, but we'll talk about that for another video. And before we get into the video, I do ask that you please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new. We're putting out new final expense sales training content and life insurance agent sales training videos pretty much every week. And check this out. If you stick around until the end of this video, I'm going to show you how to get our free final expense telesales new agent kit. Now, this thing is pretty awesome. It's got a lot of sales materials that you're absolutely going to want to have if you're selling life insurance or final expense over the phone. Now, of the three carriers, I'm going to start with number 3, and then we'll go down to number 1. Number 3, I would say, would be Lumico. First of all, the product will insure people between the ages of 40 and 85 years old. Unfortunately, they won't do less than $5,000, but it goes from $5,000 to $50,000, which is pretty good. The product, it's level, standard, and hold on. Their standard, and it's a little tricky. What they call standard is actually a graded product. So they've got level, what they call standard, which is really graded, and then return a premium. They take debit cards and direct express cards. And guys, that's important for your low income seniors. If you're selling final expense, you understand there's a certain percentage of our clients that don't have a checking account. So the fact that they will take those direct express cards and debit cards, I think that's pretty important. Now, let's talk about their big niche, like the reason that I really like them. The bottom line is they are super diabetic friendly. They don't care if the client's on insulin, and they don't ask about neuropathy, diabetic neuropathy, which is huge. So now what we're doing is we're able to send a lot of the clients we would normally send to maybe like Royal Neighbors, we would send them to Lumico. I'm going to explain to you why. And also Transamerica. You know, a lot of people that we would normally send to Transamerica, we're sending to Lumico. Now, why? As far as Royal Neighbors is concerned, of course, Royal Neighbors is a great product. We're not talking about them today, though. Royal Neighbors is more expensive. Lumico is pretty much on the opposite side of the expense for the client, and they're pretty much one of the most competitive products that are out there. With Lumico, a lot of times you're going to be able to use them as a price buster. You're trying to replace a policy that the client already has, and now with Lumico, in a lot of cases, you're going to be able to give them a much better deal. With Transamerica, I don't want to get into them, but if you've worked with Transamerica, you know their underwriting's a pain in the neck. You could wait days or even weeks before your client's approved, or even worse, waiting days or weeks before you find out that the client's not approved as applied for. So with Lumico, you're going to know as soon as you send up the application if they're approved or not. I love the idea that their application process is really streamlined. It's very simple. And so is the signature process. Guys, that's really important if you're selling over the phone. We want to make it as easy as possible for the clients to put their signature in place. And Lumico does this for us. As far as riders are concerned, the only one they have is an accidental death benefit rider, which it doesn't come with the policy, so it is going to be an additional fee for your client. So to sum up Lumico, I love them. Great product. Maybe not the one I would lead with. We'll put it that way. But the next two carriers, I would say you could lead with either or. Let's start with number 2, and this for years had actually been my number 1 carrier, American Amicable. The cool thing about American Amicable is that they can insure a lot of people with a lot of different health scenarios. They'll insure folks from 0 to 85 years old. They'll cover insurance as low as $2,500 up to $50,000. Another carrier that does $50,000. Guys, those of you who've been in the industry probably realize most carriers, they kind of stop between $30,000 and $40,000. So that extra $10,000, that $50K of coverage is pretty sweet. They have a level, a graded and a return of premium product. And as far as like their niches or their super niche is concerned, to me, I would say it is that return of premium product just because the price is so low for what the client's getting. And now you've got a really competitive return of premium product. I would say if you looked at the top 30 most competitive return of premium products, they're definitely going to be in the top 3. So American Amicable, we love you for your return of premium product. As far as riders are concerned, you can add on a child rider and I believe even a grandchild rider and a additional accidental death benefit rider. Of course, all these riders are going to be at a additional fee to the client. Really important, guys. One of the things that I really love about American Amicable, and I would say this is what makes them stand out over the other 2 carriers, is that they do true Social Security billing. So the difference, real quick, the difference between regular Social Security billing and true Social Security billing is that, I'll give you an example. Let's say the client receives their Social Security benefits on the 3rd, and the 3rd ends up in March, for example. I'm not sure if it does or doesn't, but let's say in March, the 3rd falls on a Saturday, okay? So what happens is the insurance companies usually won't draft the payment until Monday. But if they're on Social Security, these folks are on Social Security, they get their money on the 3rd or even the 1st, and the 3rd or the 1st falls on that weekend, these folks are actually going to get paid Friday. They're going to get paid early. And that's what I love about American Amicable. They know that, and they're going to draft that payment on Friday. They're not going to wait till after the weekend like Lumico will and the other carrier that I'm going to get to here in a moment. Of course, they have a really easy application process. And I love the idea that they do give you multiple signature options for the client. Guys, this is important because sometimes they'll tell you that they can open an email and that they can apply the signature. And the thing I like about American Amicable is, let's say you're doing an application with your client and they're just having a hard time getting that signature to open in the email. You can switch gears and do a voice signature. And the voice signature is really cool. You hit the voice signature option, a script pops up on the screen, and now you read the script. You, the agent, read the script while it's being recorded. The client says, yes, you can use that as my signature, and voila, it's done. All right, so we've got our number 3, Lumico, number 2, American Amicable. To me, the number 1 carrier, this is my favorite carrier. This is probably, I want to say it's my flavor of the month, but I see this as being our agency's number 1 carrier for a while. And this is a carrier you guys may want. And by the way, I'm a distributor. If you are actually actively selling final expense insurance, and you want this carrier, you can contact me for one of their highest contracts. The carrier is SBLI, otherwise known as Savings Bank Life Insurance Company. Now, their product is called Living Legacy, their final expense product, Living Legacy. Their age range is pretty normal. They insure people from 50 to 85 years old, and they'll insure them with as low as $2,500 of coverage to a maximum of $35,000. So that's pretty normal. To me, that's your typical final expense coverage and also age group, right? Nothing special there. That's fine. They have a preferred, standard, and modified product, which is very nice. And they also, like Lumico, take direct express cards and debit cards. Again, this is important because a lot of our clients, they don't have checking accounts. It's just the nature of the beast. They've got a lot of really, really nice niches. It's pretty sweet. So let me ring some of these off. You can get level coverage for clients with COPD, hepatitis C, kidney disease, lupus, multiple sclerosis, and Parkinson's disease. Yeah, you didn't hear me wrong. I did say hepatitis C in there. Pretty sweet. Level coverage, first day coverage with their standard product. That's not just their super niche, and all those niches aren't even. I would say their true super niche, and this is the secret, don't go telling your friends, is that they have really abnormally high approval rates. So we've been sending up applications for a couple of months now through our agency, and we've sent up hundreds. And the last time I checked, the approval rate, I'm going to give you an accurate number that we are seeing. When I say approval rate, approved as applied for, not they'll approve it, but they'll offer something else. Approved as applied for. The percentage of applications that we sent that went that way were 92.5%. That's right, guys. This is not normal. I hate to say it. Most insurance companies will tell you, oh, it's 85 or 90%, but it's not. I'll give you an example. Transamerica, 65 to 70%. Prosperity, about the same. But once again, SBLI, Savings Bank Life Insurance Company, they've really outdone themselves. I think the thing about the underwriting, I would say the reason being is that they're not doing an MIB. They only do a prescription check. So that's it. And what they do is they will listen to what you're telling them. So if you tell them, hey, the client's taking the furosemide, but it's not for congestive heart failure. It's actually because they have high blood pressure. They're going to take your word for it. And one other thing that I really love about this company is that it comes with the, let me see if I say this right, the Sequoia Funeral Concierge Plan. Now, what is that? Check this out. This is basically what Senior Life Insurance Company of Georgia has, you know, that thing they have where it helps the clients take care of the funeral so the family doesn't. Who's another company that has it? Lincoln Heritage, they have something like that. But this is crazy. This Sequoia Funeral Concierge Plan, it outdoes all of them. The first thing about it is your client, so they get the insured, they get a policy, right? Now they have access to the Sequoia Funeral Concierge Plan, but not just them. They can actually give it out to 10 of their friends and family, believe it or not. So how does the process work? And this is the beautiful part of it. You, the agent, so you sell your client the SBLI Living Legacy, right? Now you call the number for Sequoia, you give them the client's policy number, and you give them the client's information. And what Sequoia is going to do is they're going to reach out to your client and they're going to take care of everything for them. And when I say everything for them, they're basically going to help them set up the scenario of the funeral. And we're talking everything from discounts on like caskets and stuff like that to finding a good, maybe memorial home or even like a funeral place, like not just a funeral parlor, I should say a cemetery, right? They're going to help with all that stuff and make it so much easier for your client's family. Think about this as a selling point. If you are, let's say, doing remote sales and you were to ask your prospect, hey, Janet, let me ask you something. If I can make it really easy for your family when you pass away so that your funeral stuff is pretty much all taken care of, would that make a difference to you? Would that be important to you? Guys, that is gold. That is just gold. I mean, that's what Lincoln Heritage has been doing. But Lincoln Heritage, in my opinion, they do that to justify their really expensive rates, and same with Senior Life. It's the same idea. And by the way, guys, I did have an agent that came to me and said, Doug, you keep saying Senior Life is very expensive. They've got this ultra preferred product. Guys, yeah, they got an ultra preferred product. Most clients aren't going to get qualified for it, one. And two, your commission is getting destroyed by using that product. Guys, to me, if you're going to sell insurance, life insurance, burial insurance, final expense insurance, there's got to be a match. In other words, maybe I said that wrong. There's got to be a give and take. It's got to make sense for the commissions. It's got to make sense for the clients. And the process has got to be easy. So all around, it does have to be easy for you, the agent. Bottom line, guys, between these three companies, you've got some really good products and can pretty much sell everybody. I would say maybe add in a good GI product like Great Western. You know, I like their product because they'll go as young as 40 years old. And voila, you've got everything you need to sell final expense insurance at a very high level. Guys, if you would like access to free telesales final expense training, just click on the link above. This is going to take you to our 3-part series that's going to cover pretty much everything you need to know to sell final expense remotely from the comfort of your own home and at a very, very high level. If you'd like the new agent telesales file that I mentioned earlier at the beginning of the video, just email me at doug@ufesonline.com. If you'd like more information on our remote final expense telesales platform, just shoot me an email at that same address. Very important, guys. When you put the needs of your clients first, everything else will usually fall right into place. So get your butt out there or get on that headset and do something good for someone today. Happy hunting.